Hi y'all, again. I'm back. It's March 28th, 2018, and I just realized, um, checking back through some of the videos, that I never did the Know Your Needleworker video or anything about myself. I just kind of jumped in and did the cross stitch. So I thought I would go ahead and do that now, some of it. Can't really remember the questions. I didn't print them off or anything. I just will tell you what comes to my head and just go from there. My name is Lisa. I am a mother of two. A son who's 25. He'll be 26 in July. And then my daughter is 20. She just turned 20 in January. Oh, and if you see the heads, this is Paco. Say hi, Paco. He is a Chihuahua, not a teacup or anything. And then we have a big dog, Delilah. She is a Malamute Hound Dog mix. Paco, he is a rescue dog. We got him in Oklahoma at the SPCA, I think, or Animal Aid or something. I don't remember. They had him advertised. I got him for my daughter, but as you can see, he's my dog. He follows me everywhere. He wants my lap. He was the one whining earlier, if you heard that. So here, get settled. Get settled. And then Delilah, my fiance found her as a puppy, I believe, wandering down the road. So he got her. She has a hound dog head, but she's big, like a hound dog and a Malamute, but she has the Malamute markings. So figure that. He's got the floppy ears. Get settled. There you go. He's gonna lay down. He's spoiled. I live in the southwest part of Missouri, and I transplanted here, sorta, kinda. I'm an Okie, born and raised, but this town that I'm in, my great, maybe three great grandparents helped start this town. And actually, through that window you see behind me, across the street there, is the original homestead that they built. I have to look that up in the date, but it's all rock and stuff. I basically spent my childhood in that house because my grandpa grew up in that house, as did my mom. So when I would come, for Christmas, vacation, and spring break, and just whenever, all the other times, I spent over there in that house. I think in the early 70s they decided to build this house that I'm living in now and move, smaller, because that's a 2-story. It has a basement, it has stairs and stuff, and my grandma, both of them, just didn't want to go up and down the stairs anymore. So they built this house and moved in, and then my uncle lived in that house. And then I believe it was 84, my grandpa passed away, and then in 2000 my grandma passed away, so my mom got this house. And in 2001 she moved up here and lived here until she passed away in 2014. So it took me a couple years to decide, did I want to move up here? Because we're talking, this is a no stoplight town. You go through Main Street, that's it. You go from one side to the other, and no stoplights. There's stop signs on the other, side streets and stuff. Not a stoplight one, and I love it. The grocery store that I was telling you about, my ancestors started that, where I found that little milk can thing. I even had I think it was my third great grandpa was a doctor here. So this is not just, somewhere for me to move. I felt drawn here, and this is where I belong. That's what I feel like. So I love it. If I didn't make you sick, across the street in the front of my house is my pasture, and I lease it. There's cattle. I eventually will get some cattle, but there's cattle there, so I love seeing that. No houses. and it goes quite a ways. So you don't see any house. Well, there's no houses on that side whatsoever. Well, I'm a country girl. My grandpa, like I said, I would spend all my time here. My grandpa taught me how to ride a horse at 3, and I've been on him ever since. Been in love with him ever since. I got to go to the Joplin stockyards with him and buy cattle. He taught me out how to drive a tractor out in that same field across the street. And it was one of those little International red things. And we're talking old. And it had, the real long columns, or the manual stick, you know what I'm trying to say. It was big. I think the steering wheel was like that big too. I don't know. It was huge. But I learned how to drive it and loved it. He would let me rake. Once they cut the hay, I couldn't cut and I couldn't bale, but I got to rake, so I loved that. And I rode my horse all over this town, all over the place. Would go up to the store and tie him in the back and go in. Just a lot of memories here. My best memories, my best childhood. So I kind of was drawn here. I really couldn't not be here, I think, as opposed to my home in the other town that I grew up in. Just really didn't feel the same to me as here. So here I am. Love it. It's definitely country. And you're out driving around and you might get stuck behind a tractor, but who cares? It's much better than the fast-paced cities with the traffic and the road rage and the people just drive me nuts. So that's where I live. Like I said, I'm a country girl. Love my horses. Love the cows. Love me some Diet Dr. Pepper in my mason jar. That's what I like to drink. I do like tea. And I'll do coffee in early mornings with breakfast sometimes, but for the most part, it's my Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Pepsi, whichever spree I'm on at that time. Sometimes Diet Pepsi gets really, really sweet to me, so I don't want to drink it. Anyway, what else? I told you I have my 2 kids, and I am divorced from their daddy and have been for quite some time now. Let's see, 7 years. Oh no, yeah, 7 years. Met my fiance, and I think I met him a little after, and we didn't even meet till like a year after that I started to talk to him. So got that. He has a job that allows me to stay home, so I don't have to work. I think I said in my last video, gonna hopefully get a part-time job that's working at a state park in Oklahoma, because it's not very far from me, in the office. But it won't really be like a job, because that's another thing I love, is to be at the lake. I love camping. I inherited a 5th wheel, but before then, my mom wasn't able to use it, and we used it, so I got that. So we go camping. I love to be out at the lake, just listening to the sound and the water, and sometimes fish. If they're not biting, I'm not fishing. I'd rather read a book. So that's my other love: lake, horses, country. I'm a boots, jeans kind of gal. I can't even tell you the last time I was in a dress. Probably my wedding? No, surely I've been in a dress since then. I don't know. Anyway, what else? I love to cross stitch, of course, that's obvious. But I love to do other crafts. I learned how to crochet, and my great grandma, before she passed away, she taught me how to paint with oils, but I really didn't pursue too much of that. I did a few things, I did an ocean painting and a teddy bear on canvas, but I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. When I first started cross stitching, a good friend of mine at the time, she taught me, I think in '86, how to cross stitch. Well, I was all into bears then, teddy bears. So my first cross stitch piece, and I actually finished, was a little teddy bear ornament, which I still have. It's just packed away the Christmas stuff. A little Christmas teddy bear, one of those little plastic frames, probably that big, you know, a little oval, I think. And then I did other bears. I have uh, I should grab that next time. I'll show you the bears with the tea party that I did with the two little girls. But you know, through the years, your taste change, kind of like the cows I showed you in one video. I did cows. One of my kitchens at the time was done in cows. Not really doing that right now. I'm everything in all the house except for my craft room, which I need to start setting up, being in there. It's quilts, Amish, that kind of thing. All through the rest of the house is country, western, boots, anything to do with horses, saddles, rope, you name it. And then the kitchen, dining room is, excuse me, Americana primitive. So I kind of like all kinds of different things, you know. I like to cross stitch primitive. I didn't always, but I've really been drawn to it and done a few things, and now I want to do more. I like to cross stitch quilts and horses and just whatever catches my eye. Really, I don't have a preference that I have to do all the time. It's just whatever I want. Like, I didn't really care for the little house needlework designs, and then I don't know, all of a sudden light turned on in my head. It's like, you know, you like those. So I've got quite a few of those. Well, let me rephrase. I didn't like them as far as their normal stuff. I did like the Christmas ornaments and stuff. I think I saw those when they first came out. But now I've got Santa's Village, and I want to do hometown holidays and just, you know, a few of the other things. And there's a couple of country, or, you know, it's a country cottage of theirs, of hers too, that I want to do. So, I know I'm rambling, but, what else? So, a cross stitch crochet. I can't draw with flip. Now, my daughter does. So, I leave that to her, so I don't really paint. I've covered albums. I like to do wood crafts, you know, paint on those. I have a few things on Pinterest that we've done. My fiance loves to do woodworking, so a lot of the things he'll cut out, and then I'll paint. Like he made one of those trays you see that have the two handles on top. He's made those. He made me a little end table. I made like a cowboy ashtray, but everything with that, like the wood was found in the barn, the barbed wire was found out in my barn, a horseshoe was found in my barn. The only thing I had to buy was the galvanized bucket. And no, I take that back. That wasn't what I bought. That was on another project, sorry. There was a galvanized bucket, and then I bought the sand to go in it, and I have a couple of friends that smoke, and that way they just use that outside. I took two pieces, I think they're like this long, probably that wide, a couple inches, and I stenciled. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. I stenciled cowboy ashtray on two different sides. I'm sorry, I'm looking out, and I guess the sun is going down. So across the street, I can see it at the tops of the trees, and they look just like an orange, and then there's like a brown, and then you see the grass. I wish I could show it to you. It's beautiful. Anyway, I was talking about that barn. I have a big white barn that my ancestors built. Well, they built a little shed too that held like the saddles and tack, and they did other stuff in there. Well, it's in bad shape now, so I took a couple of the doors and, well, one door. We cut it in half and then cut the half in half, and half of that, uh, he, my fiance, he made me a like a toilet paper holder. I used a horseshoe again because they were in the barn, and I'm sure they came off of one of my horses at the time, and barbed wire out of the barn, and no, not barbed wire. That's another project. Sorry, I'm getting too far ahead. Horseshoe. This piece. Oh, my stepdad had a bridle that I had gotten, and he'd passed away too, and so we used the bridle and just kind of flung the leather over, and then the bit piece that came around, I took off the chain that was on it, and then we made a big dowel. It was probably 2 inches. That went from hole to hole from the bits. You know what holds the bits, and that held my toilet paper. But it all meant something to me because it was part of my ancestors. You know, there was horseshoe, the shed, my stepdad's bridle. It all kind of meant something to me. So I still have that. I just don't have it in here. I have it outside now. And then my front porch has the other bottom whole half with like a star on it, a great big star I got at Hobby Lobby. So stuff like that. And then like that same shed on one of the other doors that we just kind of split up. He took me I'm looking at it right now, 2 pieces of it. I think they're 1x2s. 2 of them side by side, still have the white paint on them. And then some of that same barbed wire he bent and made the shape of a heart. And then I just kind of tacked that on there, you know. Doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but does me. So I love doing stuff like that. I'm a big Pinterest person. I love looking at Pinterest because I'm not real good when it comes to ideas. But thinking of ideas sometimes by myself. But you get a lot of good ideas there, and a lot of good ideas now on Flosstube. We all know about Priscilla and her Priscillified things, and she has great ideas. And there's others out there that have great ideas too. So that helps a lot. I can stitch it and I can think of stuff in my head, but when it comes to all those cutesy little things, I never would have thought of it. So love that. What else? I like to read. I love music. Not a day goes by that I don't have music. If I'm not watching TV, which is very rare that I watch TV anyway, I like to record and then watch them and fast forward through the commercials because I hate commercials. But I love music. I don't really care too much for rap. There's a couple of songs or, you know, whatever I can listen to. There's probably a couple of songs in every genre that I don't care for that I'll listen to, but doesn't mean I like the whole thing. Like rap or heavy metal, alternative, new age. I'm not real crazy about them, but I'll listen to some of them if I like the song. My favorite, I think, if there's a favorite, would be blues right now. I love blues. Country, of course. Grew up on country. Rock, pop. I just like music. Classical. I even like some opera, even though I don't know what they're saying. I have to have music in my life. That's just all there is to it. When I was young, I played the violin and learned how to play the violin, and then piano through the years. I can still read music. I can still play a piano. I would love to learn how to play a steel guitar. I just love the sound of those. My fiance, he played the drums when he was younger and grew up. Actually, he still plays, but just for himself. And he taught himself how to play a bass. So he taught me how to do a couple of things on there too, like ACD Thunderstruck. I play that. So I love music. Love watching movies, you know, romantic comedies, some mysteries. Same with the books. I love reading the mysteries. romantic, of course. Sometimes they all kind of turn into the same, just change the name, you know. So I kind of get away from that a little bit, but I just love reading autobiographies. I like those. Some mysteries, not too crazy about murder mysteries as much as some of the few mysteries. I don't know. Anyway, so got the books, got the music. What else is there? What am I missing? How long is this anyway? Oh gosh, I've already been talking 20 minutes about my life. Wow. I'm gonna pause it for just a second. Okay, sorry. Had to get a drink and think about what else I was forgetting. The older I've gotten, the more out of my shell I have became. Like Flosstube, definitely out of my comfort zone. And last year when I moved here, you know, I knew a few people here, but I got talked into doing a play. Now, I don't get up in front of people. Like right now, I'm just talking to myself, and yeah, y'all see it, but you're not there that I'm looking at you. I thought I was gonna throw up. I'm really surprised I did it, but that was way, way out of my comfort zone. But once I started meeting, you know, I knew a couple of the ladies and then didn't know the rest of the ladies in the play. It was an all-woman play, and it was a murder comedy. It was really funny. We were all a bunch of old ladies, which is what taught me how to do my hair short, because in the play I had a wig, and right now this looks awful, but it was gray wig, and it was this, actually I think it was maybe this length. It was styled different, of course, but everybody was just like, oh my goodness, you know, you look like your mom with that on, and that haircut looks good. So I decided that's what I would do eventually, just for something different. So that was out of my comfort zone. Play was out of my comfort zone. And we did 3 nights of it. And the first night, I just didn't even look out in the audience at all. But you know, once we hear the laughter and the applause and stuff, it got better. And then Saturday, or actually it was Thursday, yeah, and then Friday and Saturday was good. But I did it. And I'm surprised my old fart mind even could remember the lines. That's what I was scared of too, that I wasn't going to remember. But the good thing was, you know, we weren't professionals. We were just doing it for fun, and you could ad-lib. You didn't have to say your lines perfectly. Obviously, you had to get them so that the person that said the next line after you knew what you were talking about. But so I did that. I cut my hair. I just decided this year was going to be do something, you know, that I don't normally do here, and Flosstube was another thing. And I don't know what will be my next thing. I guess the next thing was my fiance wanted a motorcycle, and as much as I love motorcycles, I mean, my son races. He races a sprint car, and I've loved racing. I've been watching racing since '84. I'd go to the watch the sprint car races, but and that's what my son started out in quarter midgets, and then went to what they call micros, which are little bitty mini sprints, and then a big sprint car. He's back in micros, but going a lot faster, and his hope is to get into a big sprint car and move. But anyway, he got a motorcycle. I love motorcycles, and I wasn't real sure that I wanted to get on the back of one. Definitely not going to drive one. But you know what? They're fun. They are actually relaxing. You can just sit and you can look around. Yeah, I'm still a little nervous because of other people, but not him. So that was another new adventure for me, to ride a motorcycle. And just last weekend, I got a set of chaps and a new jacket. Because when it's cool, you got to have those things or you'll freeze. You can't, you know, just wear pants and whatever until it gets warmer. So I broke down and bought those. I have my own helmet. It's purple and black, which, by the way, purple is my favorite color. Um, it's purple and kind of grayish too, and black. So, and my chaps and my jacket are black. So, have that. I just need some boots, which right now I'll just wear my cowboy boots and some gloves. So, yep, I'm a motorcycle mama. I never would have thunk it. So, that was out of my comfort zone. I've done a lot of things out of my comfort zone this year, but I'm glad. I'm opening up more, like I said, and just having a blast. We're getting ready to meet some new people to get to go on rides with. That's exciting. I met some new people camping, so that was exciting. And then all the friends I have up here. In the year that I've lived here, because we moved here in October 2016. In the little time that I've lived here, I have made more friends, and enjoyed things and gone and done more things than I did there with my besties and my friends I went to school with and stuff. Isn't that funny when you grow up how it changes? The only thing is I don't have anybody to do the crafts with me here. I do have one friend, she cross stitches, but she's busy doing her thing. She's got a kid. She's trying to graduate from school that she homeschools, so she's got that going, and her husband's business, and we can't just sit and stitch all day together. So I wish we could. We can't. So I think is that good? I don't know what I have forgotten. I'm me. I'm trying to lose some more weight again. I don't like the way I'm looking right now, other than getting my hair cut, which helps some. Got to get this weight off, not to mention I'm diabetic, so that doesn't help, and I've got to do better eating. Uh, what else? Let's see. Well, have I covered the bases? Maybe you know me a little better now. I do like to decorate, but I'm about finished. I think I have enough junk now. I do love to go to flea markets, but now I'm looking more like I found the frames and different things to do cross stitch with. That's what I'm looking at. I still want to find Crocs, and I still want to find any quilts that are reasonable and handmade, older. Can't pass those up. But as far as any more of the decorations in my house, I'm pretty much done. I have a lot, and I don't want to have to dust because I hate to dust. Oh, one of my other passions, back to music, is Elvis. Y'all saw my Elvis I cross stitched. Believe it or not, I know this is gonna come to a shock to some, like Vicky. Are you sitting down? I don't want to collect any more Elvis stuff. I don't know. I still love him and I still love his music. I'm just tired of collecting and looking. And does that make sense? Am I nuts? Do I have fever? I don't know. I'm tired of collecting Elvis stuff, so I told the people around me that, and they were just like, "What? What's wrong with you?" I'm done with it. Right now, I'm into getting my cross stitch done, and I want to plaster it everywhere, and decorate like the farm area, because let's face it, I'm on a farm. I may not have all the farm animals, but I love the farm. I love fresh eggs. I love cows. I love bacon. Does that count? So I'm on a farm, and I love barns, and so I can't wait to get those done. So that's what I'm working towards, I guess. So have I covered everything? Maybe. Is there anything I've forgotten? I said that a while ago. I know. I repeat myself. I really am coming out of my shell. I really am. I wouldn't talk to people unless I knew them, and now I'm like turning into my mother, because we'd go to the store and I don't care where we go, she'd see somebody down the aisle and just start talking to them. I'm like, Mom, quit. Well, guess what I do now? yeah, I don't mind talking to people, strangers. So that's kind of changing. I guess that changes when you get older, maybe. I don't know. I can't believe I've talked this much. Um, I'm not real big on a lot of small talk, but I like to explain things, and I do like to talk about subjects. I just don't care so much for the small talk. Does that make sense? Sometimes I can go all day and not be talking to anybody. just not just because I don't have anything to say. I mean, you know, how's the weather? Well, you can look out inside and see how the weather is. I don't know. I'm just kind of weird that way, I guess. But so I guess I'll shut up now. It looks like I'm just about to go on 30 minutes. Another video. But like I said, I wanted to tell you guys. I keep looking out. Sorry, because the cows, they just crack me up the way they do things. And not to mention that light up there is shiny right in my eyes that I'm having to look at. So that gets old. And then I look away and I see dots. So anyway, thanks for letting me ramble on, everybody, and I hope that tells you a little bit more about myself that I never did do at the very beginning. And if there's anything else you want to know, just ask. I'll tell you. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Till next time. Bye, y'all.